welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing the baby names I love, or we love, but won't be using for our baby. I did make a list and everything just because, you know, sometimes you just forget. But anyways, without further ado, let's jump right into the video. We have picked out 10 names that we love, 5 girl names and 5 for boys. And I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before, but just in case you guys are new here, we don't want to know the gender of the baby until she or he is born. So everything that we're getting is just very neutral. We actually, well, the other day we started to get rid of like the guest room stuff. So if you guys see like previous videos, or if you guys have been watching my channel for a long time, or if you guys have been watching my videos for a long time, we actually did the second biggest room a guest room. And my plan for the guest room was to eventually make it into a nursery. So like a lot of the furniture in here is gonna stay, just because I knew this is what I would want for a nursery. So we got rid of the bed. We actually moved it into the smallest room. So that room is very cluttered. There's a mess everywhere. We are not gonna start the nursery until like September, but we already have everything. We have the crib, we have the dresser, I have all of the decor that I want to put on the walls and everything. So make sure you guys are on the lookout for that video. I will be posting maybe like in September or so, but time is definitely going by super fast. So anyways, I feel like I'm rambling right now, so back to this video. So I am going to be showing you guys, or telling you guys, about the 5 names that we love but will not be using for this baby. And if you have this name, please don't get offended. These are just names, for the most part they're just names that, I'm Spanish and I speak Spanish, my family is all Spanish or Hispanic, and we're from Honduras, and a lot of them, so like my mom, she doesn't really know English like that, so I really want our baby's name to be able to be said in English and in Spanish. Like, it's gonna sound good in both languages. And a lot of them just don't sound good in Spanish, so that's why we're not gonna be naming our babies or our baby that name. Number 1, so this name I absolutely am obsessed with. I love this name, and unfortunately it just does not sound good in Spanish. And as much as I try to call the baby this, we don't know the gender, but like it's a girl's name, I'll be like, oh, the baby this name, right? It just, I don't know, it just doesn't sound good in Spanish. Like, I do not love it in Spanish, but I love it in English. And that name is Aria. I love that name. I don't know how I would spell it. I know there's different spellings, like some people add a Y, some people just an I, or some people I and Y, but I just absolutely love that name. And unfortunately it just doesn't sound good in Spanish. Like in Spanish it would be like Aria, and it just sounds like area, la Aria, you know. Or it kind of reminds me of also like que haría ella, like what would she do. And it just, I don't know, it just doesn't sound right in Spanish to me. So that name is kind of like, I don't want to let go of that name, but unfortunately I might have to. But it just depends. I don't know, I'm just very like on the fence with that name. So if I do end up naming my baby that, then don't be surprised. But anyways, the second name, this is a girl's name as well, so I'm gonna do girls and then boys. So the second name is Kaylee. I used to be obsessed with this name for the longest time. Kaylee, like, oh my god, Kaylee and Kaylee and this. And you know, eventually after last year I just wasn't like really obsessed with the name anymore. And it does sound good in English and in Spanish, but I don't know, I'm just like not super obsessed with it like how I once was. So this name is kind of like, yeah, I don't think we're gonna be naming our baby this. So yeah, the third name is Ava. I love this name. Ava, you know. Another one that doesn't like, in Spanish it would be Ava, or like people would probably still say Ava, but like the way you would kind of pronounce it, like how it's spelled AVA, would be Ava. And it's just like, no. So that's kind of a name that, like, you know. And then Ava, like if you were to spell it EVA, in English maybe they can say like Eva, or they could say Ava, but in Spanish it'll be like Eva, which sounds good, but I just don't want it with an E. I would want it with an A. So it just like doesn't sound good in Spanish that way. So yeah, the next name is Nicole. I really like this name, Nicole. It sounds good in English and in Spanish, but I don't know, I feel like Nicole could probably work as like a middle name, but I do have a couple cousins named Nicole, so I don't know, it might be like too much in my family for that name. And then the next name is Elle. I love this name, Elle, but again in Spanish it just doesn't sound right. It'll be like ELLE, would be kind of pronounced like ella, or they would say él, which él means him. So, you know, it just doesn't really go too well. So those are pretty much the 5 names for the girls. Now moving on to the boys. So for the boys, for the most part, they're all very common. So number 1 is Kyle. Kyle absolutely does not sound right in Spanish. Like it'll be like Kile, or like maybe they could say Kyle, but it would be like in a Spanish accent. And I don't know, I'm just not super obsessed with it in Spanish. I always said, like, you know, I would name my daughter Kaylee and the boy Kyle, but I don't know, maybe that's a little too much. But Kyle just doesn't really like, I don't know, it just doesn't really, I don't really like it as much as I once did. I wasn't like super obsessed with the name, but I did really like it at one point, and now I'm just like, I think it's just, it doesn't really go well in Spanish. The next name is Nathan, which in Spanish would be Nathan, or sometimes, you know, Nathaniel, Nathaniel, which is pretty common, but I would go with Nathan. And this name is just, I don't like it as much as I used to once. And then the next name, so this name I love for sure. Like I was always like, if I have a boy, I'm gonna name him like this, but it is way too common. Like either someone has this as a middle name or a first name, and the name is Alexander. I know a lot of people in my family either have it as a middle name or a first name, and it would just be a lot. And like I said, it's very common, but you know, you can always name them like Alex, or even in Spanish sometimes they name Alexander's Xander. So yeah, but for me it's just more of like the common, like it's just too common in my family. And yeah, but I really like this name. It's just the fact that it's just like very common. The next name is Jacob. I love Jacob, but again in Spanish it just does not sound right. I guess people would say like Jacobo or like Jacob, or they could say Jacob in like a Spanish accent, but I really just want something that goes well in English and in Spanish, and you don't have to like change your accent or add an accent to it or whatever. So Jacob, and then we could call him like Jake, but that name, unfortunately, we are not going to be naming our baby that. And then the last name for the boys, and overall this one's number 10, is Adrian. And I really like this name, Adrian, Adrian, but something about it, like for some reason, like I've never heard of a kid, like a little boy, be named Adrian, like in Spanish, Adrian. I always hear an adult being named Adrian in Spanish, Adrian. And so when I think of that name in Spanish, I just feel like I'm seeing like an adult. Like I'm gonna be calling over like a 40-year-old, not like a 2-year-old. So that is pretty much why. I do like how it sounds in English and in Spanish. But yeah, those are pretty much all the names that I really love, but unfortunately will not be using for those particular reasons. But anyways, these were all the names that we love but will not be using. I hope you guys enjoyed this little short video. Don't forget to like this video and also subscribe for more videos, and be on the lookout for all these other videos coming on. I actually just finished a video right now. I did a 5-month haul. I actually want to show you guys my bump because I feel like my bump is kind of big for 5 months. I don't know. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.